Modern Family star Sofia Vergara is being sued now by her embryos. I know, it sounds a little odd. Let's bring you up to speed here. Vergara's former fiance, Nick Loeb, originally sued her because he wanted custody of the 2 embryos they had created when they were a couple. Well, he ended up dropping that lawsuit. Loeb says he actually has nothing to do with this one. So who's representing the embryos and how can embryos actually sue? Joining us to explain this rather unusual legal twist, Randy Kessler, family law attorney and author of Divorce, Protect Yourself, Your Kids, and Your Future. Maybe we need to talk about protecting the embryos, Randy. Give me a sense. How can an embryo actually sue?
You know, that's a fascinating question. And right now, only Louisiana has a law. It's a unique law that says they have special status where they can sue or someone on their behalf. And there's a trustee, a guy named Charbonnet, who's suing on their behalf. But everyone wants to know, who is this guy? Who's behind it? And everyone thinks the father must be behind it because ultimately it's not a suit to get money for the embryos. They don't need money. It's a suit for them to be able to come to life. And boy, what a Pandora's box if they win.
If they win, what are the chances?
Boy, well, I think the chances are very, very low because if you think about the consequences, if embryos can sue to be alive so they can get money, then shouldn't every frozen embryo be allowed to sue just so they have the right to live? That's a very valuable right. You know, right now, fetuses don't have the right to sue to not be aborted. You know, the Supreme Court in Roe v. Wade said women have the right to choose. So I think it's going to be very hard for an embryo, which is at an earlier age than a fetus, to gain any rights. It's a hard, hard uphill battle.
And as you pointed out here, this is not Nick Loeb who filed this suit. This is this man who set up a trust. The embryos, to be clear, too, these embryos aren't being stored in Louisiana, correct?
Right. So there are a lot of legal defenses and you know, standing and jurisdiction. Those are terms we don't use loosely because you can't forum shop. You can't just go to a place that has friendly judges. And that sounds and smells a lot like what they're doing here. And judges don't like that because everyone would sue where it's most favorable to them, and that's not fair. You sue where the action deserves to be, where the kids are or where the embryos are.
So this person who is suing clearly wants to make a statement.
Yeah, or change law or start a discussion, and that's the way a lot of change happens. You know, think about it. There's no law on this because frozen embryos haven't been around that long. During the time of Roe v. Wade, this was all about a woman's right to handle her own body. There was no option to have embryos outside of her body. So there's a whole bunch of new technology that has to be dealt with in the law.
There is some existing law, though, when it does come to a woman's right to choose. And technically, Sofia Vergara, correct me if I'm wrong here, Randy, but the law says she has the right to say she's not going to become a parent, correct?
Well, not only that, they have a contract that says unless they both agree, these embryos stay frozen. And the court has upheld that, and so far, no court has overturned that. And it will be, again, like I said, a Pandora's box if they say embryos have independent rights. And the hard part, Erica, is all these people that want to freeze embryos and protect the right to have children, they're not going to do it if they're worried that all of a sudden, against their will, these things are going to be brought to life. You've got to be careful about chilling, you know, future childbirth and child rearing for same-sex couples that use this technology and others.
Well, we'll be keeping a close eye on this and we'll likely be talking to you about it again as we see what happens with this suit moving forward. Randy Kessler, good to see you. Thank you.
Great to see you.